During the approach, how can I filter out structured women who is also showing signs of high interest?
Well, what a structured woman is a woman that's following a set of rules. Say you go out and you have great rapport and she's very touchy feely and you do the kiss test on her. She looks at your lips and then you go to kiss her and she turns the
Turns
head
away.
and gives you the cheek when you're pretty sure she was down to kiss you. Little things like that, or you're fooling around and she's like, oh, I only sleep with a guy after 2 months of dating or whatever. It's just the structured woman has got a set of rules. Or she purposely won't call you or text you even though she feels the urge to, because, oh, men are supposed to be the aggressors, they're supposed to be the ones that pursue. And when you're out on your next date and they're like, well, how come you haven't called me, you never text me, it's like, did you miss me? It was like, yeah. Well, why didn't you text me and tell me that? Well, because the guy's supposed to be the pursuer. It's like, so you're missing me, you're thinking about me, and so instead of being sweet and texting me that you were thinking about me, you just purposely hold back and don't do that? Well, yeah. When a girl admits stuff like that to you, then you recognize that what's going on is that she's following a set of rules. She's not acting naturally. And so women that are like that are just a pain in the ass to date. You want a girl that's going to be natural. Or a girl that's like, you got to send me a good morning text and a good night text every day. That's what I want. It's like, well, after I do that for 30 days, you're not even going to value it or appreciate it anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be able to text you good morning because I got up and I'm having a great morning and I'm thinking about you. I want it to be spontaneous. I want it to be a surprise. I don't want to be a robot. That's like saying, hey, I want you to send me a dozen roses a day all year long. Well, it's like for about the first week, you're like, oh, this is really sweet. But when you get 3, 4 weeks into it and you got dead roses all over your
Yeah.
house, you're going to be like, stop sending me fucking roses. So it goes from being sweet and fun and spontaneous to you're being a pain in the ass. And so you want girls that are natural, that if they like you or they're thinking about you, they're going to feel comfortable texting you. They're not going to purposely not reach back out. Like a guy I was talking to last night from the Middle East has been dating. He lives in Europe and she lives in Morocco, and he's from Morocco, and so they're both Muslim, and she's got some girlfriends that are basically talking shit and giving her advice. Oh, don't call him back. Make him wait. Don't text him back right away. Don't text him at all. It's the man's job because they're dating these needy, neurotic, control freak guys, and their relationship was going great. And then she just says, oh, I'll call you later tonight because they were talking about something kind of serious. And her family, oh, she's like, I can't talk right now. Like, I'm going to call you tomorrow morning. We'll finish this conversation. She never calls him the next day. And then 4 days go by. And then he calls her and he's like, you never call me back. What's going on? And she's like, well, I did that on purpose. I just wanted to see if you would call me. He's like, why?
Yeah, they're playing these little stupid games.
Why would you do that? Well, my girlfriend said this and my girlfriend said that. And it's like, and he's at the point where, like, the last several months, he's like, I'm just drained. And so when you date her, she's being structured. She's following a set of rules and she's getting advice from losers. And on top of that, her dad didn't do a good job of raising her. So that was, other issues that he was having. But instead of them having a natural interaction, she's very insecure. And so she's very manipulative. If they're supposed to talk and discuss something, she will purposely not call him and, in essence, play chicken to see who's going to cave first, just to try to manipulate him because her girlfriends are trying to tell her that, oh, the guy's got to do all the pursuing. You shouldn't be ever reaching out to him. And so instead of it being natural and flowing, hey, baby, I'm thinking about you, have a great day, he's not getting that. He's getting her going, oh, I'm going to call you tomorrow morning. We'll finish our conversation. He's like, great, I look forward to it. And then she just purposely doesn't reach out. And so dating her, instead of being fun and her bringing peace into his life, now she's constantly doing things to disturb his peace. And then his brother's like, this chick, it's like, you've changed over the last few weeks. You're not yourself anymore, because it was driving him crazy.
Yeah.
And after we went through the whole relationship over the past year, it was He hasn't talked to her in like almost 2 weeks at this point. And he's got another girl that lives where he lives in Europe. And it's clear she likes him and wants to go out on a date. I was like, if you don't hear from her for, say, 14 days, because he's just sick of it. I said, I would go out on a date with the other girl because this chick lives in another country. You're doing her a favor by dating her long distance for the last year, and she's making the relationship difficult. Because what happens is if he hasn't heard from his girl, he's thinking there's got to be something wrong. Why is she not texting me? He can't focus on his job. He can't focus on his work and be 100% committed to his clients because he's wondering what the hell's going on with his relationship. And that is, like the extreme case of a girl that's being structured. In other words, she's not acting natural and she's doing it on purpose to screw with him because she's trying to manipulate him into behaving the way her girlfriends think that men need to behave because they're dating guys that are control freaks or jack in the boxes and are kind of nutty and they do all the pursuing. And the women make these guys nutty because they're constantly jerking them around. And so she's adopting their dating strategy. And it went from having a fairly nice relationship to the point where he was just sick of it. He just didn't even want to be in it anymore. And when I pointed all these things out, and plus what he told me about her family and her father and how she was raised, I was like, yeah, you're not going to fix that, dude. So, again, a structured girl is following a set of rules. She's not going to act natural. And a girl that's easygoing, easy to get along with, if she's thinking about you, she's going to text you because she wants to make you feel special. And vice versa. You want it to be spontaneous. You want it to come from the heart. You don't want it to be an obligation. Like it's like the good morning and the good night text. Because when people do that, it's just not appreciated at all.
I think for the guy you gave an example of, he's basically dating the friends too. There's nothing private.
Yeah.
He tells her something. She's probably going to tell her friends about it.
Yep. And so they're interfering in their relationship and fucking it up.
It's like the little play thing.
I think it's very immature. She should have her own brain and her own mind and not stop listening to her friends. Like, she's not expressing how she actually feels rather than
the interesting thing is this is the first boyfriend she's ever had, and she's in her mid-20s.
Oh.
And, because they've been dating for a year and he's gotten to know her, every guy she dated was just like the guys that her girlfriends date. They're kind of needy, neurotic, jack in the box, doing all the pursuing, blowing her phone up. And she didn't respect these guys at all. And then other ones, the guys that had their shit together, she just drove the guys crazy to the point where they just blew her off and ghosted her and didn't want to date her anymore. And that's where this guy got to.
Yeah.
She was dating this guy's very successful, makes really good money, can work anywhere he wants to, and she's fucking their relationship up because of the idiot girlfriends that she listens to. And on top of that, she kind of came from a broken home. And so you can't make good wine from bad grapes, and that's really not fixable. Because it's not something that just started. It's something that's gotten worse, but it's been going on the whole time since they've been dating. And after a year, he's worn out. You want a woman that brings you joy in your life, that brings you peace. Women that are constantly disturbing your peace, it's like every man's got his limit. Eventually, you just get fucking tired of it. You don't want to put up with it anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like interacting with her, dating her, it's always feels like you're dealing with an energy vampire. It steals your joy and your happiness and your motivation. So it's just best to disengage and go find somebody that's easygoing, easy to get along with, communicates well, loves her dad, loves her mom, or she admires her dad, respects him, looks up to him, and consults him for everything. Because I've just found that girls that have good relationships with their father and really love and respect their father tend to love and respect their boyfriends. Girls that don't respect their father and the mother doesn't respect the father, they're not going to respect the guy that they're dating, even if the guy's got his shit together, just because that's how they were trained. They model whatever is demonstrated for them in the home as they grow up. And then by the time they get to be an adult, they've been behaving that way for decades. They're emotionally anchored to that dysfunctional behavior. And so they don't act natural.